Welcome, everyone.
We're back.
Episode 3, Shotgun Logic Podcast.
Thank y'all guys for tuning in. Love to have y'all here. We've spent tons of time already talking to y'all, but we're back and want to spend some more.
Got a
Never
lot of
gets
stuff
old.
to talk about.
Never gets old. I hope we don't.
Yeah.
We are.
We're definitely not young spring chickens anymore, but
No.
I want to start out with addressing the elephant in the room straight away. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say, I think.
It's not a good one, but I feel like that we have to do our part to try to tone down the vibe with this whole incident that's going on.
The stabbing.
Yes. The high school stabbing that happened at the middle school track meet.
The high school track meet.
Well, it was a high school track meet, but it was at a middle school.
Was it? I
Where?
didn't know that. In
Yeah.
Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco.
Not too far from here, man.
Super close to us.
Yeah, close
Hits
to home in multiple ways. We have kids that age. Allen is literally the town over from Frisco, you know. I'm sure kids that go to my son's school knew the kid.
And we can
I'm
relate.
sure.
We can relate. Our kids can relate to these kids. I mean, they're seeing
Yeah.
the same stuff, the same trends, the same restaurants. Everything's the same here, but obviously there's different parents for each kid. Not each kid is raised the same way.
You know, they never found the knife, right? And I'm just so curious what kind of what 17-year-old kid is carrying a knife to school, and what kind of knife was it? Was it, I mean, like a sheathed knife that was just made for stabbing? Was it something he was picking dirt out under his fingernails with that just?
No, it couldn't have been
No way, right? It had to have been
to get through his chest plate. I mean,
dude, like a Benchmade OTF or something. That's what I keep thinking. Like, what? Why in the world would a kid have a knife like that? You know. It's crazy, but it goes to show you that, you know, as gun laws don't prevent gun crime, that's why they're ridiculous. Obviously, you know, it's people that cause these kind of issues. And it's amazing that he would have brought a knife to school and thought that it was a good thing to pull it out because somebody was telling him to move. It's crazy.
and the fact that it automatically goes to a racial thing.
That's the worst part of it,
And it's
bro.
adults too. It's not even the kids.
Well, because once they do that, I feel like they're throwing a force field up. Like, we aren't supposed to say anything back. Like, hold up, that's not what
Because
do you
you're
mean?
black, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't say, like, now we can't even rebut it, you know, without sounding like we're mad at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's
a
so
racial
crazy,
thing.
bro.
And it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's how you act. It's the way that
Yeah.
you handle yourself. You can be any color. You can be yellow and still act like a complete degenerate. You know what I mean?
Yellow.
So this is something, you know what I mean?
We're talking about Asians, right?
Sorry. You could be green
There you
and
go.
still act like a total
Yeah, it doesn't
asshole.
matter, bro.
Yeah, and end up in prison for the rest of your life. Because let's be honest, that's what's happened. Is
Yeah.
a kid got murdered and another kid might as well be dead.
2 lives are ruined now.
It'll never be the same.
Multiple lives are ruined. I mean, the families of both of those kids.
And it
man.
doesn't have shit to do with their skin color.
No.
The
And
only
it,
thing
you know,
black and white about it is that one kid's gone and another kid's life is
That's-
ruined.
yeah,
That's
you're right.
the only black and white thing about it.
That's a good way of putting it, bro. And you know, the murderers, I'm going to call him the murderer because he murdered that kid. His father, I mean, I get it. We love our kids, but you can't come out and make a statement about how good of a kid he was when he just murdered somebody and brought a fucking knife to school to do it.
Yeah.
A good kid doesn't bring a knife to school to kill somebody, bro.
Never.
It's amazing. I can't even believe he would say that. And all of the support that this kid is seemingly getting on social media, it's just sickening, bro.
I think the main thing is I want to do is just realize and try to let everyone else realize that these are real people. So it's 2 families, friends of these kids. Everybody's affected. It's not anything that's just going to be glanced over. This is real life. This is serious. So for us as outsiders to just try to make it our problem too, we can't do that. We can't just overreact. You know, we need to show support for this family that's lost their child, and then even try to show some support to this family that's got their other child that's going to go to prison.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that they've taken down the GoFundMe money. It was up over $330,000. They've taken that down since, but you know, it's not about the money. It's just about let's just do the right thing. Let's just keep from burning down cities over something like this. This was a kid that was obviously lost. He didn't have Jesus in his life, or you know, something grounding him enough to where he knows that you cannot take another person's life.
Yeah. To just nonchalantly do that and almost provoke the incident, you know? Touch me and see what happens.
That's premeditated right
Yeah.
there. That's
Apparently he was reaching into his bag while he was saying that.
and that's not how self-defense works.
You're
Self-defense
wanting
is
that kid to touch you so
Yeah.
you can stab him.
self-defense is I've already tried to get away. I've already tried to run away. They chased me down and are beating the shit out of me,
Yeah.
and I had to stab somebody. That's self-defense.
Yeah.
Not I just jumped up, stabbed somebody in the heart, and ran away.
And hid the knife. Knife still missing, apparently. That's the last I heard about it.
You're stuck on the missing knife. Like,
Well, bro, that kills me, man.
I'm sure they found it. I mean, because where could he have gone?
That's
right?
what I thought. I mean, exactly. Can you not comb the bushes nearby?
Surely they found it.
I would hope so.
But
But
obviously
that
he
just
committed
shows
the
intent.
murder.
That shows more intent. That shows he knew it was wrong.
True.
You know?
True.
So
I mean, we all know it's wrong, and I think it's just sad in so many ways that, a kid had to lose his life because of the way society raises these kids these days with the phones. They can't ever get away from the bullying. So who knows? Maybe this little black kid was bullied, and he felt like he had to carry a knife everywhere he went and tried to act harder than he was. And I know they got pictures of him holding like an AR type gun and stuff.
really, I didn't see that, man.
But I mean, that doesn't mean he's a bad kid.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean,
There's
I'm
pictures
su-
of my son holding an AR.
I'm sure Austin too, the kid that got killed,
Yeah.
But it's how you handle yourself in situations like this. Just because someone comes to you and tells you need to fucking get up and move, that doesn't mean you have the
bro.
right to stab them because they put their hands on you to move you. They asked you to move. Get up and fucking
I mean,
move.
it seems like you could almost turn that into a totally flip it around and befriend these people. You know what I mean? Like, what were you sitting there for if you didn't like them to the point where you were about to kill one of them? What the fuck did you want to sit there for anyways?
Yeah.
When you stabbed him, you walked away and left. They were asking you to leave. So you're like, okay, I'll leave, but I'm going to stab this dude first?
Well,
I
don't think
get it,
schools
bro.
have? I mean, they came from the school. They were bused from the school. So don't the schools have metal detectors?
They
these
did
days,
when
or-
they, well, I don't know. I mean, they would wand people down in DeSoto towards the end of my high school career, and that was 30 years ago almost, right? No, not almost. That was 30 years ago. So I would imagine that you walk through metal detectors now. I mean, shit, whenever I'd go to bring Ethan lunch money to the ninth grade school, it was like Fort Knox trying to get into that place.
Is it a felony to bring a knife on a school like it is a gun?
I don't know, but I can't tell you how many times I made it all the way to the door and realized I've got my gun on me still, and I would jog back to the truck and hide it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm so used to having it. You
Yeah.
know, but I would imagine it's a felony. You know, it should be. I mean,
And I'm sure there's kids that brought knives to school and guns to school, but just never use it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, that's the thing. It's like, what made him feel like he had to do that? Like, what is it?
maybe
our
he was being
society?
picked on, or he just, I don't know, man. Well, the fact that he said, "Touch me and see what happens," it
That means
it's
no one's touched him.
premeditated,
Yeah,
bro.
no one's
Yeah.
already touched him.
because
Obviously,
they would have seen what happened.
Yeah.
right.
And you see the photos of him. He doesn't have a scratch on him, so
Yeah.
that you don't
It
really
can't be
kill someone
self-defense.
unless you're getting the shit beat out.
Well,
of
there's
you first.
supposedly video of it, bro. So if and it's very damning video, and that's one of the reasons why they hit him with first degree murder, from what I read. And if that video comes out, is it going to shut all these other people up? If it ends up being just a cold blooded murder that was unprovoked, other than this dude trying to get him out of an area, will people change their tune? You know, unfortunately, probably not.
But what was going on in this kid's head to make him think he could get away with this?
I don't know.
Like, you're around all these people. They have
he-
phones
yeah,
out.
they don't think, man. These kids
what
just don't
causes-
think.
What causes you not to think that you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison? Your mom and dad is never going to see you again on the free.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? I just don't get it.
It's horrible.
Is it that's been so downplayed with the rap music and the video games or the shit on TV and the movies? It's been so downplayed that
Yeah.
they're numb to it now?
Like life.
Like, I can just go
just
kill
not
somebody?
as valuable as they are to certain people, I guess.
I
Yeah.
grew up a different way. Like, I grew up Catholic, but I consider myself Christian now. But the way I was raised is, if you take a life, you're never going to go to heaven. You're going to
Yeah.
spend your life either in hell or, and I know that's probably more than y'all care to know about, but that's the way I believe. You don't just go kill
No, yeah, of
somebody and hurt
course.
somebody unless it's something that you have to
He
defend.
obviously wasn't thinking, bro. I mean, he's a 17-year-old kid. Maybe he's a 17-year-old kid, a 10-year-old brain trapped in a 17-year-old's body. I mean, obviously he did not have the ability
Bro,
to
my
think ahead.
17-year-old cried hysterically when a cop pulled her over because her headlamp was out, or she had a
That was my
speeding
fault.
ticket. You know what I mean? It was your fault. You're actually right. Damn, I didn't even realize it. You're right. It was actually Matt's fault. Fuck him.
There you
Just
go.
kidding.
We'll blame him.
But
Talking about
anyway,
me?
no, the other Matt.
I was like, damn.
So it's just shows that like everybody's raised different. You know, my kid would never think to
dude.
pull a knife or shoot her. I mean, it just never would happen. Like she doesn't have that bone in her body.
Yeah.
And I know boys are different, but
Oh, my daughter also, man. She's the sweetest thing in the world. Something went wrong in this kid's, unfortunately, his upbringing. It had to have been his upbringing.
Has to be
bro.
his
Yeah,
parents,
it's
right?
like a pit bull. We have a pit bull, the sweetest dog I can imagine, bro.
Mhm.
I cannot even believe the stigma these dogs have. It's our first pit bull. Bro, we're going to get another pit bull if something ever happens to her or when something, unfortunately happens. It's going to be another similar dog. But some people take pit bulls and turn them into fucking
Killers.
wild animals. And it's just all about the way they're brought up,
yeah.
It's crazy, man. But and obviously that kid's dad loved him, but something just wasn't done right, bro. It has to be that. What else can it be? I mean, nobody's born with the thought of wanting to do that, right? Not when they're a kid
I
growing
feel
up.
like it's, man, and I keep going back to it. I just feel like it's the fear of God. You know what I mean? It's like,
They didn't have
if
it.
you don't have that, dude, like
Yeah.
if you don't feel like we have a short time on this earth, like this.
Yeah, like I never had
this-
to tell my son to not stab anybody. Right?
Well, I mean, you just look at it as like we're judged by everything we do. I feel that way. And if these kids don't know that there's more than just people and blood, like there's a bigger person, there's a bigger being that watches us. And our time here on earth is short. Time in eternity is long. And if you fuck up here, bro, you're going to have a real problem on your hands when it comes to, you leaving this place. So
Yeah, for sure. Did you see the helicopter crash, bro?
yes.
What?
Why is it one
Did you hear the
sketchy
story
thing?
behind it?
Yes, the CEO.
Wow. Yeah, dude. And that thing went down. And I mean, I've never seen a helicopter crash like that.
And that's his whole family. We were talking
Everybody.
about revocable trust earlier,
Yeah.
before we started. And that's
Everybody's
his,
gone.
who else? All his stock,
Yeah.
all his
What
interest. Where's that
happens?
go to? Yeah. His whole family died.
Oh, my God, bro.
And you could
Did
actually
you see the picture of them
of the-
right before?
Yeah, when they were taking the photo. Did you
Yeah.
see when it was the plane with the helicopter was crashing?
The
you
tail
could,
rotor? Or was it the
and
main
it had
rotor
the
or
cap.
the tail
It was
rotor?
the main rotor, and it had the actual
Yeah,
rotor
dude.
cap with it
I
too.
didn't see a good video of it, but I saw that and I was like, dude, what is that? Is that the tail rotor? Is that the main? Yeah, bro.
And they said it crashed because it ran out of fuel. But how come your
Yeah, that thing
tail
blew
rotor
up, bro.
flew off?
That blew
Yeah.
up. Well, there was, people didn't like that guy very, very much. I
That
think,
company was involved in a bunch of
yeah.
scandals. They were getting sued for like 180 million or something.
that's. I mean, you never know, man. It could have been shit can malfunction, but really odd, man. I hope we don't see more shit start happening like that.
It's always CEOs and
Yeah.
real popular people or important people.
I hope that people like Elon and Trump have the best people around them and the best people looking into that kind of shit, Like who the fuck's working on these planes? Who the fuck's working on these helicopters we're flying in? You know what I mean? Who's working on the cars that are picking us up at the fucking airports? You got to look at that shit. I mean, fuck, bro. People can be. I mean, look, they have. What was it? The walkie-talkies and cell phones that were blowing up in Israel.
That was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, well, I think it was Russia just got a shipment of booby-trapped night vision goggles that had C4 all packed in them. And they were, but, these things come from everywhere. They originate in China. They go over here to get this shit put on them. They go here to get, boxed and labeled. They go to so many different places. It's like, how do you pin down who did it,
Right.
It's crazy. And they're friends with China. You know what I mean? That shit obviously came from there at one point. Parts of it did.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think it'd be them,
We're pretty guilty of that too. I mean, the U.S. is pretty.
Yeah, we probably have some shit that I mean, our phones could probably blow up if they want them to right now. That was pretty scary when that shit started happening to I guess it was terrorists, right? Was it Hamas? It was
Yeah,
happening
they hit
to?
Hamas with
Yeah.
them, I think. Wow. One of the other stories we were talking about with Doge, how they were finding all the money and we were worried about their safety. The spinoff was saying that Trump was kicking Elon out or letting Elon go.
Yeah.
But in the whole beginning, it was only like what
It was
4-month term or something.
I mean,
that
he
was gonna
has
do.
some other pretty
Yeah.
important things happening in his life.
But how
you
they
know?
spin everything, everything's got to be
God,
spun
bro.
a certain way.
Yeah. They can never be happy for our country, bro. They cannot be happy
Why
for the
is
country.
that? And why is the
I don't
left
know.
so aggressive? I mean, I always considered myself in the middle, but now it's like you have to pick a side. So
It's weird. It's
and
like
I
they're
don't
a
want to
bunch
be
of-
on that side.
Yeah. Man, dude.
They're so angry.
They're
like-
losing. They're losing the country. I think, dude. I think that
and it makes them lose their mind.
when they stand, they choose hills to die on. Like men should be allowed in women's sports. They're gonna lose.
And they vote against it though.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like it. Why would you not? Why would you want men to be? It's. If the country as a whole doesn't want that shit, and we know it's not the right thing to do,
Yeah.
we shouldn't let men beat up on women in wrestling or boxing.
True.
Or weightlifting or running or swimming, whatever the
all.
fuck it is, you
Yeah.
know? It's like, what about the women's rights movement? Doesn't that take away a bunch of their rights if you're allowing that shit to happen?
Almost
It's
all of it,
crazy,
I would
bro.
think,
It's
yeah.
so crazy. It's like they can't get out of their own fucking way.
And they read from a script. Like they'll all
Oh, bro.
like whatever they'll just
Operation Mockingbird, man.
echo chamber the shit out. Dude.
Have you
It's-
looked into Operation Mockingbird?
I've seen some of the stuff on
Dude,
it.
it's
Just
Mark
reels.
Dice does some really good short shows on it where he has a book about it actually.
Really.
The Mockingbird Media. It's he has a bunch of good books, but this has been a plan, like a CIA op that's been going on for years now, and I guarantee you USAID was funding all that shit. They were paying these broadcasters. They were probably giving them additional money to run by these scripts and these scripts only.
Mm-hmm.
I love the videos where they'll have one person saying something like, this is a threat to democracy, and they'll back up a little bit, and there's three more. This is a threat to democracy, and then they'll back up. This is a threat to our democracy.
And it's just overlapping. It's just
no, it's like they each say it slightly different, but it's the same fucking lines they're reading.
But what's sad is that shit works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It gets these people to just do that Trump derangement syndrome. It just sets them up. But could you imagine if it was on the other end? Imagine if he got taken out and we
Yeah,
jumped to
bro.
that timeline. Like the timeline we're on now is amazing, dude. It's so
Dude,
great.
It was
like
guided
every morning,
by God, bro. It was guided by
Literally,
something.
it had to
to have been.
because if it hit his ear, I mean,
God, bro.
a dude was shooting at you with iron sights and it hit your ear.
Yeah,
You've
dude.
shot off iron sights before. I mean, you're just
Yeah,
you're winging it at some point at that range.
it's yeah.
So I
mean,
just looked up what is the Democrat Party's approval rating as of today? It's at 21%.
Oh, they're killing it.
that's what I mean, and like they keep
Who's that
going after-
21%?
And that's
A
a
bunch of
poll.
Karens.
That's a poll from CNN. So that's
Oh, that's
pretty
awesome, dude.
unbiased.
That's favorable.
What I like is how
Unless you think that's fake too.
yeah, right. Like it's probably 15. It's wild, man. Like, and that's what I mean by they choose these weird hills to die on.
Dude,
like, why
to
would
the
you,
end?
like,
To the
you're
end.
fucking choosing shit that everybody is against to act like it's dude. They're trying to push an agenda. They have been told to push this. They want to fucking tear apart the fabric of our country, bro. And Alex Jones used to talk about this years ago, and everybody blew him off like he was a fucking nutcase. But
But he hits.
bro, he hits on every.
he hit
time.
on World Trade Center.
Did you ever see him get into it with Pierce Morgan about guns?
No.
Bro, he's the best, bro.
No, I didn't see that.
I think I have a video I can send Matthew.
But I did see recently how he predicted what was going to happen at 9/11. Like he
Oh yeah,
on
bro.
camera,
Yes.
on
that was
time
before I was listening to him, dude. I didn't know who the fuck he was then, right? But
Right.
yeah, he did it like in fucking June or some shit.
yeah.
You know,
He predicted it all the way down to
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden.
God, bro. Yeah,
He just saw the writing on the wall.
he's like a soothsayer, bro. It's pretty wild.
And it's funny how the Sadie Hook, well, not funny, but it's just ironic how the Sadie Hook things that he said is what got him in so much trouble. Like, why did they hit him so hard on that
'cause
subject? Like, why?
he kept insinuating that it was fake, but there was a bunch of crisis actors that we
That have
know
shown
were
up.
they were at 9/11.
Yep.
They were at, even goes back to the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City. They were able to pinpoint these people that had been working for CNN
On
for
camera.
years on camera, and they were there at Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
How was
Why?
CNN there so quick?
Yeah. Why are you there?
Yeah, dude, it's look, man. Hopefully that's not the case. But look at what we know our country is capable of now, and what they did to us with Biden. It's fucking fake.
Oh my God!
This whole fake 4 years we just been through with a fake president. I mean, everything was a lie, you know. And they found him liable for $500 million fucking dollars, bro, and almost put him out of business. They turned Band.video off for a few months. They took all of his bank accounts from him, only allowed him to continue to work with InfoWars and Infowars.com, selling his pharmaceuticals and shit to try to make money. And he had to let half of his fucking staff go, you know. I mean, they just were trying to ruin the dude. They ended up selling his business in an auction for like $1.5 million.
What?
To The Onion, to the people that own The Onion, that bullshit newspaper.
Yeah.
And thankfully, a judge reversed it a week or so later. Like a few days later, a judge stepped in and said, "This is bullshit. $1 million, like this is worth way more than that." And there was higher bidders that y'all were ignoring, and they just called it all a scam and gave it back to Alex Jones.
Really? He got it back.
He got it all back. But check this video out. This is classic Alex Jones here. He's Pierce Morgan's the dude from Britain.
Yeah.
CNN guy, very liberal, but he's actually way less liberal now. I think he's turning more like realizing how fucking retarded they all are. Should I say that?
The UK has it bad, dude.
Bro, you know they don't allow guns. They only have like 35 gun deaths a year, but they have like 100,000 stabbings, bro.
Stabbing
yeah,
deaths.
it's like
anyone who's watched this show over the past few weeks knows I've taken a pretty strong stand.
We're watching all 7 minutes of this?
no. Watch a few seconds here to begin with, and then I'll tell you exactly where to go.
White House official website, no less. It's entitled, I quote, "Deport British citizen Piers Morgan for attacking Second Amendment." Take a look. More than 104,000 people have signed it so far. And joining me now is one of the people behind the petition, Alex Jones. He's host of the Alex Jones Show. Welcome to you.
Piers, thanks for having me.
Why do you want to deport me?
Well, we did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners and the Russian government, the official Chinese government. Mao said
This
political
was years
power
ago,
goes out
bro.
of the
Look
barrel
how
of a
young
gun.
he
Killed
looks.
about
I
80
know.
million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism, and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over in
Hardly
Bloomberg,
anybody
AP,
was talking about
Reuters, you name
globalism
it,
then, you know?
brag
Yeah.
that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns, they can have their world tyranny.
Hey, Matt,
While the
go to,
government buys
2
1.6
minutes, 8
billion
seconds.
bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predators didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take
He's
our
a badass,
firearms.
bro.
Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street.
I bet
begging
he's like,
for them
is
to have
he
their
about to
guns
hit
taken.
me?
We
Dude,
will
that's
not
real.
relinquish them.
Yeah,
Do
bro.
you understand?
He does
That's
not
why
fuck
you're
around.
going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take
He's
our guns.
real, bro.
My family in the Texas
He's
Revolution
serious.
against Santa Ana.
Okay.
My family.
Imagine how many death threats he's getting.
Oh, bro.
Oh my God.
Have you seen him do what he calls bullhorning people down in Austin? He has this big fucking armored truck like mine, something like all rhino lined and shit, but he has like a turret up at the top of it that he stands in with a bullhorn, and they go around to like these Antifa rallies and like Black Lives Matter rallies
wearing
and,
them out?
just like, you pussies. You know, no, dude, it's awesome.
Dude, that's
They're
priceless.
throwing eggs at him and shit.
How many of those people you think like that are going to all these protests? I know a lot of them are getting paid.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
proven.
dude.
Did you see that one video where it's like 12 noon
Yeah,
and then
that's
it's
what I
like
was about to
time to
say.
go? We got to get on the bus, and they all just
Yeah,
booked up and
man.
left at the same time.
It's really
How is
amazing,
that
man.
legal? Like, how do they?
It shouldn't be, but you know, look, they all have professional signs. You know, they all
They had the sheet on what their notes and their propaganda.
dude.
Oh,
And if anybody is there that is somewhat center or right leaning and wants to talk to them logically,
Dude.
somebody else will come in from out of the frame and no, we're not talking. They can't. Don't talk to them.
or
Don't talk.
they just get violent, or
Yeah.
they just start getting violent
yeah.
immediately.
Well, but most of them are such, you know, they're not very formidable people for whatever
True.
reason on that side. You know, we were talking about Brandon Tatum earlier. He has a video that just came out where they were at a college campus with, I forgot who he was with. He was with a conservative group at a college campus. And out of nowhere, all these Antifa people came up and grabbed all their shit, stole signs, took their tent, and started
Yeah.
walking off.
Yeah.
And one of them got in Brandon Tatum's face, and somebody has a really good video of him just shoving the shit out of them, dude. And I mean, it was refreshing. It was like, oh wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, but we don't want
to. The cops just let it happen, bro. They're literally destroying property and stealing shit, and the cops are afraid to stop Antifa.
But how come they can act like that, but the Republicans
Oh
cannot
my God,
act
bro.
like
If we started acting like that somewhere, we would be, oh my God, dude.
Just like the Metcalf.
It'd be horrible. Yeah.
Just like that deal.
Oh, yeah.
What if it was a black kid that got stabbed like that? You know, where would the outrage be there?
I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we'd even be hearing, if it was 2 black kids involved in it, apparently our media doesn't care about that, because that shit's going on every day in Chicago. It's going on every day in South Dallas. It's going on every day all over this country, and we don't hear news reports about that every day, you know? So, yeah. But I think if it was a white kid that stabbed him, it would be, yeah. If it was 2 white kids, we might not hear much about it either, though. It's like they need this sultry bit of news to just...
Is that all they got now, just because everybody can get news from so many other places?
I guess so. It has to, it's wild. I was asking my son if people are talking about it at school, because they're all the same age.
Right.
Like, yeah, people are talking about it, but wow, I figured that would be a big deal.
They're not up in arms or anything. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes smoothly. I just don't want us to break out into a whole nother.
I don't think that would. I think that the people there's just a small group of people with very loud voices on certain social media platforms that make it seem like it's a big deal. I would venture to say that the average black person in this country would look at that situation and be like, oh God, what the fuck did he do that for? That's you know what I mean? Like, I truly feel that way. I can't imagine the majority of them thinking, oh, well, you know, he deserved it, which there's actually people saying
Surely
that online,
no one thinks that anyone deserves that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason you need to deserve killing somebody is if they've killed someone that you love or someone's going to, I don't mean.
It's so funny. It's so, God, funny is a horrible word, but it's so wild that people even consider that self-defense. Would even say it was self-defense.
He didn't have a scratch on him, bro. Like,
well, there wasn't any punches thrown even, you know? There wasn't, there was a similar case where a white dude shot a black dude and tried to claim self-defense. And the video came out and showed that it was a horrible fucking shooting. He shouldn't have shot that dude. He fucking murdered this fucking guy. Yeah. But when the cops got there, because the dude was so sure that it was I think he really believed it was self-defense. I think he was so scared for his life that he thought he was about to get his ass whooped that he just shot the dude and thought, well, if I didn't do that, he was going to. But you can't do that. You can't fucking shoot and kill somebody because you think they hadn't even touched you yet. He wasn't even close to him yet. You know, it was in front of a gas station. And the white dude who shot the guy instigated the whole thing. There was a lady parked in this is why, you know, just keep your hands to your mind your own business sometimes, right? He pulls up to a gas station. A lady's parked in a handicap zone, and he has a handicap placard, but so he couldn't park there. But ironically, where he parked was actually closer to the front door of this fucking store anyways. You can see it in the video. So he literally walks away from the front door of the store to start bitching at the lady. Like, why are you parking in a handicap spot? Signaling. You don't have a handicap sticker, you know? Yeah. And she's, I'm sure, telling him, what the fuck off? What are you talking about? And then her husband comes out and starts like, the fuck are you doing?
Is that the one that happened in Houston?
I don't know. But actually, you know what? He did get pushed. The black dude pushed the guy.
Okay.
And the dude just pulls a gun out and fucking shot him like 4 times, kills him right there. And then the cops come, let the dude go because he's like, hey, man, it was self-defense, you know? They ended up coming and getting him and charging him with manslaughter, 20 years in prison. 2nd-degree murder is what they got him for.
Wow.
You know, so, yeah, not every self-defense shot is a good shot, right? Or is a clean shoot. That's, you know, I mean, you got to be cool-headed to carry a gun. And that dude, you know. But that shouldn't have been a racial thing either. That was just a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that turned into a racial thing, right?
I mean, the whole racial thing, I mean, I don't get it. And I feel like a lot of it now these days, a lot of the racial biasness is toward white men. Like, I feel like white men just are getting handled right now for some reason. Like, everybody hates white men.
I know.
Why?
I know, man. I feel that way whenever I call the city of Dallas and ask them if Ryan has paid any money yet that he owes us. No, he ain't paid nothing yet. You don't need none of that money.
Well,
what?
I feel like it's a different way. I feel like anything that a white man does these days is just getting hammered. Yeah.
Yeah. It's For sure. It's almost they're
what is your skin? Like, you don't even control your skin, like
Yeah,
how you're
how
born.
can you
Like,
be-
can't
yeah.
even, it's not even a card you're playing. It's just you're dealt that.
yeah.
So it's just something that you're supposed to live to the end. Oh, he's black, so I'm black, he's black, so he's innocent. You know,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. Like, if I saw a Mexican dude kill some other white person and he did it wrongfully, I'm gonna be like, send his ass back or put him in prison, whatever. You know, I don't give a shit if he's Mexican or not. He did something stupid.
Yeah.
But who knows? What else do we got? I know we were talking about the government stuff. We can go back to that.
Man, have you seen these dire wolves?
Oh yeah, that they brought back.
Yeah, man.
That's a
Pretty
massive deal. That's a
Yeah.
crazy thing.
You know, it's pretty cool, right? But where's it going to stop? I mean, I heard they're talking about some form of woolly mammoth. One of the woolly mammoths. I don't know which.
Yeah, they already
one.
did. They already did the woolly mammoth. It was actually, they mixed it with the mouse, I believe, wasn't it?
Oh,
Matthew?
they made the woolly mouse.
woolly mouse. Yeah.
Woolly mouse.
Pull- Can you pull that up, Matthew? I want to see it because they were talking about it on Joe Rogan, and I think he pulled it up, but I was in the car. I didn't get to see it. I was driving. But the direwolf thing is cool.
Jurassic Park 2.0, man.
I heard that the genetic part of it was really accurate. I didn't hear that
I
they
saw
were.
something that it was, you know, there's probably a lot of both, but I heard that they weren't as close as this particular person thought they should be to call it an actual dire wolf.
Is
how
that
the
what it
video
was?
Yeah.
So they have not done anything with mammoths yet. That's in the plan, but the direwolf is the first
Yeah.
of extinct animals.
Well, they did
that
some
brought
woolly
back.
mouse.
Yeah, they did a woolly mouse. Pull that up.
Where they like took a
What do you want me to look
mammoth
up?
bone and stuck it in a mouse.
Yeah, they mixed it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy,
Let's
man.
Pull up woolly mouse.
I mean, how far are we from real Jurassic Park, bro?
There it is. Look at his hair.
That's funny, bro. We had a guinea pig that looked like that.
Dude, he's pimp.
Dude,
So
he
it's
has
not
like
a
a mink on,
mammoth,
bro. It's
it's-
like a mouse with a mink.
It's not a mammoth. It's just a
It's the mammoth bone.
mouse
of his
with a
mammoth.
lot of hair.
They let him chew
His
on a mammoth
DNA.
tusk.
That was
His,
the
his
first.
babies came out like that.
Yeah, so the colossal woolly mouse marks a watershed moment in our de-extinction mission, said the company's CEO. So that's
Oh, so
something.
wait a second. So that was a mouse.
They already have a bunch of these, evidently.
But so that like that they didn't like cross a woolly mammoth with that mouse. That was what a mouse looked like back
With
in
woolly
the,
mammoth DNA. No, that's
What?
they're trying to bring the woolly mammoth
Oh,
back.
yeah, woolly mammoth. Yeah. Jesus,
So,
bro.
it's real. We're
Watch it
living in
trample the
exciting-
scientists.
This
They're
is
going to
the-
bring it back, and it's going to trample the whole lab.
Yeah. So it says they created a 4.5 inch or ounce mouse. Let's see, created by the scientists at the Dallas-based Colossal
That's happening
Laboratories.
here, bro.
Yeah, bioscience, right down the road.
Damn.
Yeah. Joe was like,
should
"Are
make
y'all
a petting
selling those?"
zoo.
He asked the guys, "Are y'all selling those woolly mouse? They're so cute." They're like,
Also,
"No."
apparently the direwolves aren't technically direwolves.
That's what I'm
if it gets
saying,
down
bro.
to the science of it, it's from what I've seen, it's they took the DNA from a direwolf like tooth and they put it into a regular wolf.
Yeah, so the regular wolf is like the frog was in Jurassic Park. Remember?
Oh yeah,
They needed.
They need that
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
the DNA.
But remember, the frog could turn. The frog was like a tranny, and all the male frogs turned
right.
female or male. They had babies.
They were unisex.
They were. Yeah. That
Just like-
happens.
just like
in-
Alex Jones was
I
saying.
about to say. Oh yeah. He
What did he
was
say they
right.
put in the water? What was it?
Atrazine.
Atrazine. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Making
Is
the
that-
frogs gay.
I know that they were.
It's a fertilizer.
Is it a
So it was
fertilizer?
running off into the streams and creeks. Hey man, that might be because look, dude. Is there more?
to the story of why these people act like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the water.
I'm telling you,
Well,
bro.
they say the tap water, and this is disgusting. They say the tap water that you drink has literally gone through a person, like through 4 people before you drink it.
Bro, there's a place when we lived in downtown Dallas, up near 45. There was a water treatment center like 2 exits down from us.
Oh, good.
And certain times of the summer, we lived in the south side of Lamar, that big, like the old Sears building in downtown
That
Dallas.
shit get ripe.
Bro, you couldn't even, we had these beautiful big weighted windows, like old school windows. Couldn't even open them during the summer, bro. It was, the smell was so bad.
Heated up.
But I was kind of used to it. I grew up in DeSoto. Anytime we crossed the river into Dallas, we dealt with that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It was just, that's just how it was. It was pretty bad. But this water treatment plant, they would like, oh man, where they would pump the brown water, they would let it evaporate, and it would just leave all the piles of human shit, and you could see it from the highway, bro.
And then they just process that water.
Yeah.
And they wonder what's wrong with everybody. And the pharmaceuticals that's in it. Could you imagine all the drugs that we're drinking?
Yeah, bro. They can ship that to India, bro. Have you seen those videos where the dudes pour it on their heads?
What? What are you talking
Pull
about?
it up, Matt.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've seen a bunch of shit
Indians
on
with the
TikTok
what?
where the Indians, it's some religion where they pour watery cow shit over their heads.
Oh, let's
in a
don't watch
ceremony.
that. Yeah, we're going to pass on that. How did we even talk about that when we were talking about something completely different?
Water treatment.
Same
Same thing.
Strengthening hair roots, reducing hair fall, treating dandruff.
Oh shit.
Jesus. Anyways,
Yeah, dude, they're into that.
let's talk about something else. So, did you hear about Utah? How they're banning the fluoride in the water?
Really?
Finally, yes. The people are.
Holy
I'm telling you,
shit.
dude.
So we could be able to sue the fluoride companies? How many times were you a kid and you go to the doctor, they're like, don't swallow, we're putting fluoride in your mouth.
Even today, if you go to the dentist, they still try to give you fluoride treatments.
I always tell them no.
Dude.
That's so crazy, bro. But,
And like
and
root
there's so many
canals
people
too.
that if you tell them fluoride is poisonous.
Oh, you get tinfoil. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a conspiracy theorist. No,
Yeah.
I'm just smart. I'm not smart. I'm just paying attention. Just like with the root canals, the damage that you're doing to people by doing root canals in their mouths,
Yeah.
dude, it's horrible. But the dentist association doesn't want to put that out there because that's their money pit. People, that's
Wow.
billions and billions of dollars.
What are the root canals doing to people?
It's the material, like evidently when you
Oh, shit.
when you put that shit in your tooth and it's leaking into your system, so your body's constantly fighting an infection in your brain,
No shit.
like in your mouth, and it can leak to your brain. Your body,
Like regular fillings and shit?
just regular root canals, fillings. Your body's constantly fighting it because it's a foreign object. It's not supposed to be
and they
there.
charge us way
Oh, yeah.
overcharge us for the shit.
And they'll never tell you the right way to fix your teeth. Evidently, there's like a tooth pulling oil or something you can gargle with, and your teeth can actually heal themselves if you give
Really?
them the right stuff. Yeah, and they don't want to tell you that. That's not
Yeah.
anything that they want
Well,
you to know.
it's like when I had sciatica for a long time, bro. Like when I turned 35, like a fucking switch went off. I woke up one day, could barely stand up, and from the bottom
Or
of
were you
my
sitting on your
butt-
wallet?
I was like Costanza, bro. I had a big ass wallet.
You were sitting on it?
No, actually what I think it was on my left side. Ethan was real young then, and I would carry him on my left side everywhere I went, bro. Everywhere I
back
went.
out.
And I think that slowly it just tweaked I never had an accident. I never was in a wreck, but it was my L5 vertebrae that was fucked up and causing pressure. And dude, they fucking wanted to give me pain medication. They gave me injections. They sent me to
Cortisone shot?
chiropractors. Yeah. But there was like the injections under anesthesia where they had to like do it under radar and go like a epidural.
Yeah.
And finally, bro, I watched a video on YouTube of a lady who had really bad sciatica and she was doing this particular stretch.
Yoga? Yeah.
I did the stretch. Shit went away immediately,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Never had it since. Never had it since. It's never even flared up.
And they'll
bro.
kick that shit off of YouTube too, you know,
Yeah.
so they don't want you to see that.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I think with the Maha movement, Make America Healthy Again,
Yeah.
we're going to see a lot of those changes.
Yeah.
Hopefully
man.
he gets all the
yeah.
pharmaceuticals, because once the pharmaceutical companies can't be the number one suppliers of all the commercials and all the advertising money, then they lose all their power. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
once that stops, then I feel like all the poisoning of everybody's going to stop.
Well, it's amazing all the drugs we get here that they don't even allow in other countries.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even allow this shit.
There's 2 countries that allow commercials for pharmaceuticals, and we're one of them.
We don't allow cigarette smoking commercials anymore, but we allow commercials for shit that is even worse than that.
Legal drugs,
Yeah.
like legal heroin.
Yeah, well, the drug dealers are wearing lab coats now, bro.
It's
Doctor suits, I should say.
It's pretty cool though that we got a chance to see this shit happen, and hopefully we can get somebody else in after Trump leaves. I know he's just getting in, but after he leaves, they can continue on to do what they're doing.
Well, I hope he really changes the food like he's talking about changing. All the shit in the food. And, we don't know for sure, I guess, but there's studies now showing that it is what is causing this crazy rate in autism. Like 30 or 40 years ago, it was like 1 out of 35,000 kids were autistic. Now it's 1 out of 30 or 1 out of 35 or something.
That's crazy.
Well, vaccines could be one, but also all the dyes we're putting in, all the colorings, all the artificial shit, the preservatives, and RFK has identified a lot of them.
Right.
That they know for sure are fucking poisonous for us.
Well, they're illegal in other countries.
Yes, yeah. And it's like if it tastes good, if you can still make it taste good, who gives a fuck what color it is, bro?
Why does it have to taste good? If it's gonna kill you, then why are you eating it? You know what I mean?
But if the coloring of it is making it kill us, fucking leave it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so crazy.
I feel like they've been trying to kill us a lot of ways. I don't know if you pay attention to the sky, but I always used to watch the chemtrails.
Yeah.
Dude, I get so fucking pissed.
Me too, bro.
Whenever it's a beautiful day and then all of a sudden they come out and they're just like gridding the whole house, the whole neighborhood, and then the clouds roll in, it gets cloudy and rainy, and it's just like, dude, what the hell?
You can sometimes tell, and Jennifer used to get so mad at me for bringing it up, but now she points it out to me. But I can identify a chemtrail that was laid towns over. It's just a cloud at this point when it's over us, but it's wide and fluffy,
and straight,
still real long. But it's wide enough to fool the average person.
It's
maybe
mixed
to think
out.
it was.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's been people that have done studies where when it's a really bad day with a lot of chemtrails up, they'll collect shit that's fallen from the sky.
All the
and there's
aluminum.
barium and aluminum and and if it is a program to reflect sunlight. Why the fuck? Who the fuck? What if that's not a good idea? Our world has been around for years on its own without help from us trying to. I mean, what are you doing?
Right.
All the CO2s we put in the air aren't shit to a couple of volcanoes, which are going off all the fucking time.
Right.
So we're going to stop the volcanoes from going off?
Well, we're made of carbon. I mean, carbon's.
Dude, dude, it's crazy.
If you believe the shit that they're pushing, like if it's got a label on it or if they're pushing it in commercials, it's probably not good for you or it's not true.
Have you seen the where they'll start spraying and start doing the crisscross patterns?
Oh yeah.
It's every time they're up there, there's always a few X patterns up there.
But if you notice, since Trump's been in, I'm telling you, it's been way less.
I think so. But they're still there. For the first few weeks, actually, my wife was like, dude, I think they're done. They're done with it.
Then they came back. But if you notice this last week or two, it's been like clear skies.
Yeah.
These last 4 days have been nothing, like nothing in the sky. And it just goes to show you that that's what they've been doing this whole time. I mean,
Well, dude, they probably, I hate to even think about it, but they've probably infected us with shit that way.
Right. Right.
I've like read reports on
smart dust,
mass inoculations via aerosols in the air.
Right.
They
did some stuff in the 60s in San Antonio with the fog. I mean, in San Francisco with the fog, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. And China, prior to the Olympics being there, did cloud seeding for the month leading up to it to make sure it wasn't going to rain there. So they can create droughts. And if they can create droughts, they can probably create hurricanes and typhoons.
Yeah, flooding in the mountains.
Yeah. Wow. It goes deep, man.
Yeah. Hopefully, if Doge can cut off the head of the dragon and take their money away. Yeah. These pilots aren't flying this chemicals and this poison around for free. They're getting paid to do that.
What's crazy to me is, why are all these other pilots being quiet about it? You know what I mean?
Because they're getting paid, bro.
But like regular pilots, even these guys flying in and out of Addison, private pilots, they have to be closer to that and see what's going on. Do these planes, we can't see it from here. I've never hit a telescope at them, but are they really just white fucking planes? And if they are, and they're producing these chemtrails, it's wild,
pisses
man.
me off, dude. I'm telling you, when I see them, it makes me so mad.
Have you seen the videos online where they'll show the inside of those jets that are actually spraying?
Yeah.
And it's just nothing but these big ass
Tanks.
canisters.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're saying that they're able to do it by just putting an additive in the fuel that doesn't burn all the way, and so the jet is basically ejecting a lot of unspent fuel, which is really whatever this substance is that they're chemtrailing us with.
Really?
So that way they can turn any jet into a jet that's up there doing this to us.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, with the cell phones and the stuff they're putting in the air and the cell phone towers, I mean, not to be a tinfoil or too hard, but they can control whatever they put in the sky. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's in your body, like those people that got the shots, you know, and then they said that if you hit them with the black light, you could see like the green in their skin from the vaccines.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know what I mean? Did you see
I remember
that?
when that happened.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you know, we were anti-vaxxers, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But some of Jennifer's family wasn't, and her mom stayed with us for a few weeks, actually a few months. Like
They're saying you can
6
people that
months.
have gotten vaccinated can pass it to you.
Well, we didn't.
They're
Jennifer and I
shedding.
didn't
It's
have it on
called
our face,
shedding.
but we hit her mom's nose, and it was like that all around, just like the video we just watched.
That's crazy.
Bro, scary. Like, are you kidding, man?
It's taking their like pregnant women's, what is it in the placentas, that their white blood cells. It's interfering with the way that the body is healing and stuff. You know, and it's not even people that are just the ones that got the shot. It's people that live with other people that got it and they didn't. Then they're starting to shed it onto them. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Everybody in my household didn't get it. So, but I mean, I interact with people all the time.
Who do you know?
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't scare me. I'm not afraid of that. And
I mean, we can't be, bro. Like, what do we? You know, we have to. We're in it now, bro.
We've been drinking poison water and chemtrail air. And Prince, you remember when Prince, before he died?
Oh, yeah,
he
dude.
did that video and he talked about chemtrails, and then all of a sudden he gets murked.
Yeah. Speaking of shit in the skies, bro, have you seen these jellyfish flying around?
No.
Bro. Yeah, dude.
I thought you were talking about under
Pull
the
it
ocean.
up, Matt.
Yeah. I thought you were talking
You
about
could just let it
jellyfish
run,
flying
bro.
around the ocean.
No,
we're going to watch
bro.
the whole video?
Well, they don't listen. They don't know what it is. So this shit.
This is real? All right.
This is military video over Iraq
What year?
recently. This was Jeremy Corbell, right? So I think this came out in 19, maybe 21. But they don't know what the fuck this is, and it's only available on infrared, bro.
Oh, I have seen this.
It's only available
Yes,
on infrared.
yes. And this
so
is
it's
real.
Cloaked.
This is real. You're right.
It's fucking real. They don't know what the fuck it is. They think,
But isn't this biblical? Don't they talk about this in the Bible?
bro, there's drawings that Michelangelo did with shit like that floating in the background, bro. With kids in the background looking up at it.
How much of this is not floating around all the time, but we
Yes,
just
but
can't
look at
see it?
this. So up here pretty quick, it flies right over the head of some people that are walking. You cannot see it with your naked eyes, bro. This is infrared only.
camera.
You can't see it. Like, they just happen to catch it. Look, these people have no idea this thing's floating around. They
Are you
happen
sure
to
this
catch
is
it with a
real?
drone. Yeah, 100%
I've
real,
seen
bro.
it. I've seen
Because
it.
This
this
is
looks like a smudge on the camera.
I know, but it's military. Look at it, how it's changing, bro. It's military foot, and they're
Yeah, this
catching
is-
them all over the world. I just wanted to show you all this one. This one seems the most legit because it's military footage, but this was like shit that the Pentagon released, I think, in 17. This is some of the shit they released. I don't know exactly what date this was. The dogs don't even see it, bro. They'd be going crazy if they could see something like that floating by.
That's nuts.
I mean, nuts. But what if it's just a life form we haven't fucking discovered yet? I mean, dude, if you can go to the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and see the crazy life forms down there, they all look alien. They all look out of this world.
Yeah, well, the ocean is least discovered than anything.
Yeah. So what's to say that there isn't fucking organisms that can fucking fly like that in our fuck? I mean, who knows what the fuck it is?
I mean, they're here.
What is the
They're
purpose?
obviously here.
What
They're-
is the
If the government's telling us that they are acknowledging UAPs, and
bro? It's all
it's obviously a real thing, unless they're trying to gaslight us. You know what I mean, and divert our attention on something else. But
Tucker Carlson, who I think is a pretty serious dude, right? He's 100% convinced all this shit is spiritual. That they've been here for years. They were talked about in the Bible. The lights that we're seeing in the sky,
like demons or negative.
Yes, bro. It's all fucking spiritual, and they're wanting to show themselves more to us now. Plus, the population, dude. The population has grown at an exponential rate. There's this guy that I watch called My Lunch Break. If you haven't watched any of his videos, you need to watch
Send me
them.
some, yeah.
He talks about just mud flood shit, Tartaria.
Yeah.
And just a bunch of crazy shit. But one of the things he talks about is the population lie. And that our population in the late 1700s literally went from nobody on this fucking planet to billions of people now. And it went up at just a crazy rate. But if you go backwards at the same rate that a normal population would grow at, by around 1000 BC, there's like 20,000 people on Earth. You know, so how the fuck could all of these structures? He thinks that there was a reset in our history much sooner than people realize. Maybe as soon as the Dark Ages that we call the 1300s through the 1600s. Something happened, reset our population, and that's where all these grandiose buildings come from. Because back in the fucking 1200s, 1400s, what we know of what the population was capable of, they weren't able to build the Sixtine Chapel and all these crazy buildings that would take us, 20 years today with specialized equipment, you know. But they were able just to knock these out. And according to history, some of these big grandiose buildings took like less than a year to build. Right. Before the advent of any power tools, before the advent of any, it's really amazing. We couldn't even do
it these days. And then they'll also say too, like, so you're telling me that while we're riding horse and buggy here, that on the other side of the world, they have these big, like, Sistine Chapel churches and stuff like that. How does that make sense?
Well, and one of the neat things he gets into is the word founded. When they talk about, have you seen this? Yes. It really like means they didn't found.
Create it. They found it.
We didn't found our house, right? We built it.
Established
it. Why in the world is certain things in this? And it's always these grandiose buildings, these huge city halls or city halls that were built in Cheyenne, Wyoming, when the population was 2,200.
That post office.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, the population was like 3,700 people. Half of those would be men and women and children. Would the other half? I mean, imagine the small portion of skilled labor that was. I mean,
it had like 1,200 rooms in it or something. Something stupid.
Dude. And the only construction pictures they have of it is scaffolding around it with dudes painting it white.
Like, after it was already done.
They're not building this.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man.
But, dude, we're the conspiracy ones if we start talking about, though. The government has made it to where it's so efficient for them to gaslight folks into looking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, if people probably think we're stupid as hell about the shit we talk about, but dude, I mean, it's real.
Dude, the mud flood thing, there's shit down in Peru that is, multiple feet under ground level, which is today's ground level. That obviously a huge mud flood swept over that whole part of the continent. It obviously happened. We know that happened. But they just, hey man, the Incas built this 400 years ago. That's how it is.
That's the story we get.
Just
like the story they told us, and I'm sure you probably saw this, but I want to share it with y'all too. I just sent it to you, Matthew. This is the one about the Challenger. This hits me pretty hard because I remember when it blew up. Oh, yeah. Do you remember? I was in school.
That was one of the main.
I think I was in like third or fourth grade.
I was in third grade, bro. So we were watching it.
Yes.
Because the teacher was on it.
Okay. So you have your opinion of it, I'm sure, and I have my opinion. Let's just watch this video and see.
Cool.
That the Challenger astronauts didn't die in 1986?
Yeah.
But are still alive today, living under the same names and faces? As a child in 86, we were all sat in the school hall being made to watch this launch.
Third grade.
The Challenger shuttle exploded just 73 seconds after launch, killing all 7 crew members. If that happened, then explain this. Commander Francis Richard Scobie was declared dead.
Look at those eyes.
But there's a man named
Wide
Richard
eyes.
Scobie running a marketing firm called
they look
Cows
just the
and
same.
Trees. Same age,
He
same
doubles
face,
as a
same
gecko.
name. Michael J. Smith, the pilot, supposedly died in the blast. Yet there's a Michael J. Smith teaching engineering at the University of Wisconsin. Same calm eyes, same smile, same everything.
That's the same
Ronald
dude.
McNair, the physicist, was said to have perished too.
This one be hard to fake.
But a man named Carl McNair, claiming to be his brother, looks exactly like him.
It's his brother.
The voice, the mannerisms, identical.
Wow,
Then there's Ellison Onizuka. His brother, Claude Onizuka,
another easy one to spot.
could easily be
Oh,
him.
come on, bro.
Same jawline, same stare,
They
just
all
older.
look pretty similar.
Judith Resnick, the brilliant mission specialist, has a twin. A Yale law professor named Judith Resnick,
Oh,
Didn't
same
even
name,
change her
same
name.
age,
What?
and a perfect facial match. No records of a twin ever existed.
Stop.
Krista McAuliffe, the teacher chosen to
teacher.
inspire a generation,
Not the teacher, bro.
supposedly died that day. But Sharon McAuliffe, a professor at Syracuse, looks exactly like her.
How do they
Only
just
Gregory
keep
Jarvis
the same
seems to have
names?
no confirmed
Didn't
double,
have the internet back then.
no trace.
Dude, there was more. It talked more.
Oh my god.
Three of them had identical twins. That's
Dog.
how
So
many
they
times
just
have you
blew
been
the
around
Challenger up?
anybody with an
Well,
identical twin?
Yeah. Very rare. Very rare does
And
that
three
happen.
people on the 3 elite astronauts.
I don't think I've ever had identical twin friends ever. Did you
But
ever
3
have that?
astronauts, you know, are
they just hop
identical.
in a, yeah. Fucking if
You
they
never
only
seen
get
that
hold on, man,
before?
if they only get $5 a day on the space station today, imagine what their per diem was back then, bro. Wasn't
$1.50?
shit. Yeah, $1.50.
Dude, I used to get $1.50 per day at lunch, you know,
Yeah.
in middle
I'd
school.
roll it up in my sock.
I
Walk
thought
to
I was
school.
a big baller. Give me 2 hot plates.
Yeah. God, that's
What do you think?
crazy,
You think
dude.
it's real or not?
So I have looked into that, not really looked into it, but I've seen some videos of it, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them confront those people, and they're like, "No, it's of course I'm me. I wasn't an astronaut. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous." So, you know, but they can't say, "Oh shit, you got me."
Yeah,
right?
what about the first one where he said he's got the cow logo and it does the like spiral in the air, like the exact same
That's
smoke
weird,
screen
bro.
of
Yeah, I
the
saw that
subtle
too.
blowing up.
Yeah. Do you remember that though? Do you
I
remember
do.
the teacher jump? Did they turn it off and shit right away? I
Mm-mm.
remember him jumping up. I remember at first it was like, ooh, like we just thought it was part of the rocket separation, I guess. We just thought it was part of the shit. And then we all started kind of realizing,
Yeah,
oh,
it was
shit,
real.
dude.
No, they played the whole thing. I went to Rowlett. I was in Rowlett Elementary, and they played the whole thing. And I think they let us go home early that day.
Wow. Yeah, I was at Northside Pride. Soto, Texas. I was probably wearing the shirt that day.
Pleasant Run. Shout out to Pleasant Run.
Yeah. Cottonwood.
So I don't know. I think they'll lie to us. I don't know, especially over something like that.
Yeah.
What about Michelle Obama and Obama? Did you hear that they're getting a divorce?
She's a man?
Well, I know that.
Oh.
Big Mike, but it's not the case.
I heard
She's
they're
starting a
getting divorced.
podcast too. Did you see
I
that,
saw that,
with her
dude.
brother?
Did you see that they got more likes than views?
How does that even make
It
sense?
doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's all fake, bro. They had like.
Did you read the
within
comments?
10 hours. Yeah, they're horrible, bro. I bet they're gonna turn them off. I mean, they're horrible. There's not a single comment that's good, dude. And they had like.
And the photo of her, it's like whatever they had her on or him on is wearing off, dude.
Bro,
because
listen.
she's looking real bad,
Dude, well,
Like, no
her
more
brother, her brother is more feminine than she is, bro. It's crazy.
Got that same jawline. Oh my goodness! Don't give him a view. Matthew's over here searching it. He's gonna have us watching it here in a minute.
Oh man.
No, I saw the same thing about
Somebody-
the majority of the comments were like nobody wants to see this.
Well,
but-
and the majority were the good comments were all comments coming from accounts that had just been created that day,
Yeah.
or like had no other content, hadn't watched any other
The
videos.
I don't know,
astroturfing
I'm
of it,
starting
yeah.
to feel like these are fake because I'm seeing things like awesome. I will definitely watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who says that?
Yeah.
And then all the
What
others
is-
are like, "That's a man."
Loved this so much.
So
I saw his pecker. Because one of them I saw in there said, "I saw his pecker
Oh,
in a
no
video."
way,
Yeah,
bro.
he was dancing and I saw his pecker.
bro, that video, if it's not doctored,
Y'all are discussing great top. I feel like these are fake. These are crazy.
dude.
These are not real comments.
It's wild. But yeah, at one of the videos I saw, it was like 12 hours in, they had 10,000 views and 24,000 likes.
10 hours in.
Yeah.
It's like, is that even physically possible?
Well, I don't know how people are liking it without seeing it first. That's, you know.
I mean, I would give her a shot, I guess. I don't know. I just want to see the train wreck.
I haven't watched it. What about Gavin Newsom's? Have you watched any of that?
No, I hear what was going on with him lately?
Well, he's running a state into the ground. He's still doing that.
Swear I thought I heard something more about him.
He actually has some good guests on, bro. He had Charlie Kirk on. He had some good guests on, but you know, look, it's obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to get guys like me and you to fucking watch it. You know, I just can't bring myself to fucking watch it. I just don't care enough to watch it.
He just seems slimy to me, dude. Like,
Yeah,
he just,
bro. The way he,
just
everything is,
slimy.
it's you know,
All politicians are, I guess, if you think about it.
yeah.
At least from the ones that we know, they're all like used car salesmen.
Yeah.
It's your boy. How many subscribers does he have?
66,000.
Damn.
So
24
he had
videos.
Tim Waltz on there. think Tim Walz recently came out against Kamala.
Really?
Yeah.
Or I hear she's trying to come back in, and she's trying to get back into politics. Yeah.
No way.
I think she said she could take California's governor, no problem, but she was going to do another state.
Well, listen, bro. If somehow Doge can uncover a shitload of fake people on the voter roll in California and they have to remove them, California, I don't think will ever win another election democratically. I think it's all fake there, bro. I think they have ever since, because they have a law there where illegals can vote in local elections.
But the people that live there want that. They like
That's
that.
so weird,
it's so
bro.
nuts, yeah.
Why would you? Yeah,
because
you're right.
they hate Trump that bad.
I know a guy that I used to be kind of friendly with him, and we knew each other through the Rolex industry. He's from California, and once Facebook came around and everybody's true politics started coming out, he doesn't want to have. I think he defriended me actually, and I'm never political, right? But I'm also, you can probably tell I'm not
vocal,
liberal, yeah. But yeah, man, just it makes people turn against friends, even, man. It's weird.
Why is that?
I don't know.
What would make you want to hate your loved one so much? Like, maybe being Hispanic, like our family's different, and our family's mixed. Like, we got a bunch of white people in our family now. It seems like all the Mexican kids married white women or white men, But
yeah.
I feel like that in our family, you got to work hard to get in between us. Like, we'll bicker with each other. There's probably like 10 or 12 of us that are in our tight family, and we'll bicker a little bit, but you got to really do something to make us hate each other.
Yeah.
So how can someone make you want to hate Teslas or make you want to hate your
weird,
family
man.
or
Yeah.
your kids? Some people hate their kids because they said they like Trump. It's like, what the?
Yeah, dude.
What the?
Yeah, that's really weird.
I mean,
it's just it's so I don't know what is it a mental condition, bro? That would make people act that way.
Everybody has to be on a team type thing.
I don't know. I have seen those videos where the parents are wanting to disown their kid because they're conservative.
You think we could get somebody on here that would want to argue with us?
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude.
Like some Democrat, or
Yeah,
not
we
even
can
a
put the word
Democrat.
out. Anybody want to come argue with us?
Or just somebody that wants to call us stupid or something. Yeah. Matthew, you got
We
a
could
couple
arm
of those
wrestle.
friends, right?
I have a gay cousin in Malaysia that
Is he a lady boy? Lady boy?
he's getting there.
Malaysia. Oh, speaking
I heard
of,
that's the gayest country in Asia. Malaysia.
Really?
Well, I'm not gay. No, I have a question for y'all. If y'all were working during a day of the week, you had a transgender person walk in, would you gonna treat them a different way, or
I don't think I've ever had a trans customer.
Bro, whenever the furries would come in
Oh yeah,
from the reconditioning place down the street.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when you come in and look, just because you grew your hair out long, if you're not fucking, if you're not shaving your legs and putting in fake boobs, I'm calling you dude still. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, dude? I mean,
I was guilty
bro.
of that too on accident.
Yeah, I mean, your legs are hairier than mine. Just because you have a sundress on and you grew your hair to your shoulders, I mean, how rude is that to women to think that should be a woman?
Yeah, I didn't really have any treat them different or anything.
No, I just called him dude.
Yeah, I mean, not even intentionally.
I wouldn't mean to. It's like it comes out because it's a dude.
I ran into it one time. I went with my daughter to the Apple store off of Knox Street. And dude, so we're in there,
That's
right?
the part of town for it.
And I'm with my daughter, and she's 17. So I'm trying to be very respectful. I'm trying to make sure that she knows how I am. Like, I'll say some off the cuff stuff sometimes. But so the guy comes out, and I'm like, hey, bub. I call everybody bub or Bubba or bud. You know what I mean? And, man, it's just how we talk down here. We're respectful.
Yeah.
And I want to address you. And then, and he's like, oh, my pronouns are whatever. And of course, I just didn't, just completely just whatever. I don't even care. I'm not going to call you that, obviously, because that doesn't mean anything to me. But I'm not going to call you bub or anything anymore either. So we're just going to try to get this phone done and get the fuck out of here. So he walks away or she walks away, whatever. I told my daughter, and I was like, I'm trying. Because she gave me that look like my wife, like, don't you say anything or don't be rude. She doesn't like the attention, right? So he comes back or she comes back, and we're finishing up, and I did it again on accident. And then I try to correct myself, right?
It's ma'am.
No, yeah, he didn't get ugly like that and pull his rank on me. But then I feel like it's more disrespectful because now I'm all stuttering, like I don't know what to fucking call you. I don't want to upset you. I'm not trying to be a dick in front of my daughter, but dude, you make this shit difficult.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to tell me what to fucking call you.
Yeah.
You know, you're an Apple employee right now. I don't care what you do when you get off work.
Yeah, dude.
You know, same with customers. I mean, I'm going to be the same way with them 100% unless you give me a reason. Like that's my downfalls. I'll treat you the same way you treat me, basically. So as long as you're good to me, I'm going to be good to you.
You
don't
probably
care.
don't get too many transgender coming in here.
No.
Or Ferrari.
No.
Yeah.
Have you?
Bro, I had this dude come in in a like a 1999 beat up Chevy truck, hair down to the middle of his back, with a bourbon and Coke in a glass that he brought from his house. Still has ice in it from the ice maker. You can totally tell like he made this at home and got in his car and drove with it between his legs probably, with long ass manicured nails, like pink nails. And I couldn't stop looking. I'm like, oh my God. Well, Matt, bro, you know Matt.
Oh yeah,
He don't
no
give a
filter.
fuck.
Yeah.
He's just, what's up with the nails, bud? The guy's like, I lost a bet. This girl at the bar bet me and I lost, so I'm, it's like,
At least he was a cool dude, though, right? I mean,
he's awesome. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He was a really cool dude, but he came in like 3 weeks later, still had him on.
yeah. So we didn't lose a bet, but
Yeah.
But I'm fine with that. You want to be weird and kinky, we're all into some weird shit somewhere. I know Matthew is for sure, but
Yeah.
we're all
Lady
guilty.
boy.
We're all guilty of it.
What are you talking about? I'm into what?
Weird shit.
What am I into?
I don't know. You were an hour and a half late today. So. I don't know.
You call me gay because I'm an hour and a half late?
No, I didn't say that. Just extracurricular. I'm just saying we all do weird stuff, but as long as you're not rude to people, who
be
fucking
nice.
cares? Yeah.
Sound pretty rude right now.
You want to be a freak? Go ahead. Just don't be a dick to me. I'm fine. I'm over it. But dude, they're pushing it, especially with the girls and the boys' sports, man. It's
dude.
Why are they pushing the buttons? Like, imagine if that was your daughter getting pegged in the face and getting a concussion from a boy playing volleyball and launching rockets at you. There's a reason why there's boys sports and girls sports, because we're physically bigger and stronger than them.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? The world's best women's tennis player can get spanked by like a high school boys tennis player. You know what I mean? Because that just shows you the difference in men and women's bodies.
The Serena sisters both have been beat by dudes that were like ranked 400 or something. The lowest college ranked guy just beat them pretty handedly. Apparently,
Or they said didn't the women's world soccer team, they get beat up
by the high school
boys team all the time. Yeah,
which it's normal, man.
But
so
they want
how fair is that to put boys with the girls
launching rockets
crazy,
at them, dude? Could you imagine?
That's like, and the fact that the crowd is not up and I can't even believe they sell any tickets. That's like me entering a swimsuit competition.
I would banned and probably protest it.
Yeah.
What are you laughing? I heard you laugh, Matthew.
Hey, have you heard about all the Chinese student spies over here, bro?
No.
Roll it, Matt.
Roll it. Not China.
Yeah, dude. We got to start looking out.
I don't think China's our enemy, bro. I really don't feel it.
That was it.
I don't feel like China's coming after us.
It's absolute insanity. Check it out.
I filed a bill yesterday to deny now student visas to Chinese students because China has just passed a law that now requires every national to gather intelligence, including Chinese students here studying, gather intelligence and report back.
And we're letting them come over here to go to
Is that
school.
cap? Is that real?
Prevent student visas
I don't know.
in that respect.
It's...
I mean, in the past few years, we've had an explosion of Chinese students that were caught gathering evidence or gathering information on military bases, on college
they're
campuses.
buying up
How do
land.
we as lawmakers,
They're buying up land around
policymakers
all of
not
our
do
military
that?
bases.
I know.
Now this right
You
here.
think they would let us do that in China?
Absolutely not. You can't own land.
Right?
in America
I don't
and
think
China.
so.
No, it's illegal.
Why do we allow this? Why do we allow, just because we're so greedy? I almost think maybe our government had nothing to do with it, and it's the fault of greedy real estate developers and greedy mortgage companies and greedy landowners just selling shit to whoever the fuck wants to buy it without even going through our government and asking them, hey.
But don't they say that those countries, sorry to cut you off, but don't they say those countries go the opposite way? They buy the politician influence. They spend their money that way.
I guess so. I guess
go
so.
work their way down.
Yeah. I mean, but do you think that the landowners would report anything? They'd probably just let it, look, if you got the money to buy it, I'll sell it to you. And now we wake up and they own half our country.
Dude, the way LLCs work now, there could be 3 or 4 LLCs before it even shows a Chinese name on there.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
The money trail's so easy to hide these days.
The most of the homes in our neighborhood, we found out, most of the homes in our neighborhood are Chinese national owned, and they're rent homes. They bought them all sight unseen. They buy them from China. They just call up somebody and pick out a handful of houses in a neighborhood to buy, and it's people churn. We just see them all the time coming and going, bro.
We let them do that too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I know we were going to talk about Epic too.
Yeah. Do we have time?
I definitely wanted to talk about that, how that's going to take over down here, and how we were talking about the Muslim churches and, how they're.
And I don't mind. It's just that when you start hearing about the Sharia law and I'm like, where is it going to stop? There's already, different ethnicity, but there's secret Chinese police stations all over this country. Did you know that?
True.
So, how in the world does that happen? So if that's able to happen, imagine what's going to happen in these communities where they keep anybody out except Muslims. They're going to just do whatever they want to do in there, and our police forces are probably just going to stay out. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in the future, man.
It's getting bigger. Like they're taking over. They'll pick an area that they want to just basically come and invade, and then they just push everybody out. And imagine being told that you can't live in this neighborhood. Like, how's that equal housing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to say they were running a crematorium there too. Like,
illegal crematory. Yeah. Like, no, not even like authorized or whatever. Or I guess you have to do special paperwork to burn people.
I would hope so. If you're going to be getting away with getting rid of bodies.
We almost rented a shop out.
What's
right
the
next
Epic
to
City
the
thing that you're talking about?
One more time.
The Epic City thing. It's vaguely, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've got a video. I'm going to pull it up for you. But basically, it's what religion is that, or what nationality is that? Is it Muslim? Is it Muslim?
Mm-hmm.
Neighborhoods that's already built here in McKinney, and then they have another one they were trying to build in close to Joshua.
Yeah,
I want to say it was like 40 miles from Epic.
They got one in Garland.
Oh yeah, their headquarters is set up in Garland. You're right.
Wow, man,
it's scary, dude. Because
now if they're just that, how would it go over if white people wanted to make a fucking community, bro?
And not let anyone else in?
Could you imagine that shit?
It wouldn't work.
It would, dude.
There's no way. There's no way.
The thing is, we wouldn't do that though. That's the difference, bro. Like, I don't think we would nobody would openly create something like that because out of fear of being called racist, I think. But it seems like every other race can do that, and it's not racist.
Toward y'all.
It's so weird,
right.
bro.
Let me try to find this. I had it saved about a week ago. I know I wanted to talk to y'all about it because I felt pretty strongly that the way that they're taking over is just so methodical. And it's so like no one even knows about it.
There's a plan, bro.
I had no idea. I know there's a lot of people that don't want the Syrian law here. Let's see. I'd be willing to go out there and look at it too and just see if they'll even let you in. I don't even know if it's something that
they probably got good kebabs there.
I bet the lies that you get when you pull in there is something like crazy.
Oh, bro. It's like driving through my old neighborhood.
I want to try to talk about the tariffs too before we get off of here. If we can get to that. Man, damn.
Yeah, the tariffs have been crazy, bro. Crazy week in the market. Crazy last week and a half.
Up and down, I hear.
Dude, just so volatile. Like I've never seen. Like nobody's ever seen.
Are you invested like that?
I'm not really invested in any particular stock, but I mess around a little bit in futures, very little bit, right? Mm-hmm. In like micro trading, it's called futures, day trading in the a particular index, off like a derivative of the NASDAQ. So
here's where she's talking about the Muslim city.
That I think everybody in America needs to watch. So there's a group of Muslims, Islamic people, who are looking to build a place called Epic City here north of Dallas. It sounds like a water park, but it is indeed not that. What they're trying to do is take 402 acres, and they plan to build an entire city of Muslims, but not to be governed by the United States and our laws, but to be governed by Sharia law. Now, in this city, in this proposed city, there will be over 1,000 homes, of course, a temple for them to worship, shopping, the same thing as any city. But we won't be allowed to, our laws won't apply to them. That's what they want. If any of you know anything
how can that be allowed,
about Sharia law,
I don't see it.
We should all be very, very outraged and very scared of what their plan is to do here in America.
Texas.
They're taking over, bro.
Play that other video.
It's happened in Europe.
That other video I just sent you to, Matthew. Hit that one. It's women too, man, making these videos, and it's it makes sense because they're not going to
have many laws, bro.
Don't they target women too?
Well, I don't know if it. Yeah, I mean they. It's like
Muslim compound
this
in
is
the
a
state
good
of
one. I've seen
Texas.
this.
What if I told you that the man behind the compound is a radical Islamist who, according to his own account, was placed on a terrorist watch list?
So he's telling people
what if I
he was on
told
a
you that
terrorist
the
watch list?
compound is now being investigated and accused of trying to enact Sharia law on Texas soil? You may not have to go all the way to Europe to find these no-go zones. They might be right here in Texas.
Are they going to be labeled terrorists? I mean, if they're just neglecting our laws,
it'd have to be.
Nestled in the heart of Josephine, Texas, it is about 20 miles and 20 minutes from Epic.
That's the new one that they're trying to get.
So
they already have Epic.
It's 20 minutes from the other place?
Mm-hmm.
Commercial areas.
So is it going to be like basically like where you have malls and apartments and homes, and they're just creating a community?
I think the mosque,
like a 5-minute city or whatever they call it. Have you seen that? Where
15-minute city.
Yeah, yeah.
We're definitely not invited to that party. That's for sure.
Commercial areas, shopping centers, Islamic schools, Islamic community
college.
College,
How do you invite people over here,
you could ever need to be
but yet make them
it's
assimilate?
Not just here, bro.
Why can't they just assimilate into our population like it used to happen?
They have to take over.
Yeah.
The UK is even worse.
It's really bad there, bro.
They're getting hammered over there.
And and none of these countries would let us go over there and do that, right? We're going to create a big Christian compound in Saudi Arabia.
Christians are killed in certain places.
That's what I'm saying. They throw them off bridges with the gays.
Or they'll throw you off a building too, like if you don't agree with what they say.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's horrible. It's like, why would? But then you see protesters, like women protesters protesting, against Israel, which Israel's doing some fucked up shit. But you're protesting with a Hamas flag around your neck. They would fucking kill you
in a second, right?
What
like
are
they
you doing?
hate Americans, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, death to America.
They like
right?
our money.
They coined that phrase, "death to America." I think that was.
But we
them.
still send them money, like all these terrorist groups. We still send them billions and millions of dollars.
Well, because we gotta have enemies, bro. How are we gonna keep the war machine churning?
Keep that money.
We gotta make sure they can afford weapons.
Gotta have somewhere to send the billions of dollars to get back to your bank account. I feel, man, these guys going off in handcuffs now that are getting arrested. Dude, I love it.
I hope we see some. I mean, I think hopefully the Epstein shit will really start dropping, and we'll see some very interesting perp
I'm more interested in the Doge. I'm more interested in what Doge is doing. I feel like they're getting them closer. Like, didn't Fauci's wife get fired too?
Yeah.
Didn't she get bumped out?
Yeah.
I heard
I think Elon fired her. Didn't Elon actually?
Elon or Trump did one of them.
Okay.
Didn't Kash Patel get replaced too, or was that?
Okay, so
was that
I read something that he's not the head of the ATF at the moment, but he was FBI. So was he temporarily over the ATF or something, or?
I don't know. I heard he
I
got
liked
replaced.
him, but I don't know.
What about Dan Bongino? Is he doing his part too, or is he still back online?
I haven't seen his show actually in a while. I'm sure he's with the FBI for sure. But I think didn't Cash hire
He was
him?
running under Cash.
Yeah.
He was working under Cash.
Yeah.
But I heard he got replaced. I mean, that's just what I was just seeing. I didn't read any of the articles on it. I was just seeing it.
I did
popped
read
up.
that too, but I remember reading it from the ATF, and I thought, well, I wonder if it was a temporary position.
Oh, I got you. Like if it's just clickbait.
Well, because we recently fired one of the head ATF guys who, or I don't know if I think maybe he retired. I can't remember if they fired or retired, but he stepped down. I guess he's no longer there. He was one of the guys involved in the Branch Davidian.
Oh
saga.
shit!
Yeah, he literally was like on the ground while they were turning the women and children into crispy critters. You know,
That was
can you believe
crazy.
that? You know, I saw this thing the other day that he never said he wasn't going to come out. He just said, "Look, I'm in the middle of writing a few." You know, he wasn't. I don't know, man. He was letting people leave that wanted to leave. Did you ever watch that movie on it?
The documentary.
Yeah,
A little bit of
he
it.
was letting people leave that wanted to leave, but he was telling us that he had 7 quatrains or something he was going to write. Right? Let me finish writing these and I'll come out. But they didn't want him. They it's like they wanted to fucking do what they did,
Yeah.
man. They wanted to. I don't know if it was just a show of force. So nobody. I don't know, man. But we watched. I was in golf class that day when
Really?
that happened in school. It was raining. I say golf class. It was the period that we would typically go to the golf course and play. But it was raining, and we had to stay in the classroom until like the end of school, and we all bailed. But the TVs, like that was right around the time they first started putting TVs in the classrooms, and we just happened to be watching it, and that shit caught on fire right then, bro.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck?
Why does our brains do that? Like we automatically lock in. Like I know where I was at when I saw the O.J. Simpson thing. I know where I was at when
Yeah,
the
me too,
9/11.
bro. I'll tell you exactly. Yeah,
The 9/11
crazy.
happened. I know exactly where I was at.
What about do you remember where you were at during the Oklahoma City bombing?
That one didn't hit me as hard, I guess.
I was working at MGM Electronics, and me and my buddy had just flush mounted the TV in the wall of the waiting area, and had it hooked up to a VCR, but we heard that it had happened, so we put some aluminum foil on the bunny ears, tuned it in just enough to see them talking about it, man. But yeah, I remember that too for some reason.
That was
bro.
a crazy explosion right
Yeah,
there.
dude.
What was the deal with that? I mean, you think he was playing it too? You
Oh,
think he was
man,
one
I
of their?
think he was a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah,
bro.
they made him do
Yeah.
it.
I mean, do you remember the damage to that building? Like a fucking truck bomb is supposed
With
to do that?
fertilizer.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, that shit and all those poor kids in that daycare. It's a messed up thing.
It
man.
almost took that whole building down, right?
Yeah, it's amazing it didn't, I mean, it damaged buildings on the other side of the street even, but yeah, and it created a crater. I mean, dude, I'm sure the van was
And there's
gone.
still a monument about it too.
Oh,
when
I'm
you
sure.
Go out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tariffs though before Matthew kicks us out of here.
Yeah.
Why China? Like, why is he? Why? What are we doing?
Well, they've been screwing us over for years. man.
How though? Like,
Yeah,
Not
actually,
buying
I
our
actually have a
products.
video that's ready for you guys.
okay, sick.
Indeed,
Pelosi.
China should not receive most favored nation status.
Nancy Pelosi,
for
1996.
several reasons that I'd like to go into now.
Hopefully she's in
I'd like to
prison
call the attention
2026.
of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion
Average
for
US tariff was only
1996.
2%,
Since the Tiananmen Square massacre,
but they were hitting
this
us for
figure
35.
has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about
What the fuck? So
$34
even
billion
back then.
now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S.
Pelosi was
MFN
kind of
tariff
a
on
MILF,
Chinese
huh?
goods coming into the United
I didn't even
States
know.
Oh, let it
is
let
2%,
it play. Just,
whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%.
how they were fucking us
Is that
then, bro.
reciprocal?
What year
On
is this?
exports,
95.
China only
1996.
allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with
that's
30,
90
a third
now.
of their
This
exports,
next one gets crazy.
and that'll probably go over 40%, and it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have
be conservative,
access,
bro.
Not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president, in his
because
statement,
we're buying all their shit. They have to hire
requesting this
kids
special
to do
waiver
it.
said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States. 170,000 jobs.
Well, and that's why the tariffs are on us, bro. Or that's why we're dealing with it.
But
and
why
if
have we
China
put up
would
with it
just
for
say-
so long?
Because I'm sure we were getting kickbacks from the manufacturers. I don't know. It had to have been with money circling back around into somebody else's pocket, or our politicians just not caring,
Just bending over?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Are they in bed with the Chinese?
They have to be. I mean, fuck, we've let them buy half our country, you know? So when we raise our tariffs on them to 25%, but they're still hitting us for 35%, and then they get mad at us and raise it. So that's a retaliatory tariff they're giving us.
Right.
So that's why Trump raised it. He's like, I'm raising because you raised on us, and we didn't even go as high as y'all at first. You know, he hit him with 25% at first.
That was the first one?
Yeah, and then they came back, and,
then it
now
just
it's
went.
like 150 or something, 140. Which, you know, hopefully it all dies down, but it shouldn't be 0 for 0. Like Europe's wanting to do 0 for 0 with us. You know, South Korea's wanting to do 0 for 0, but it should not be. We've been footing the bill for everybody. We've been paying the majority of the load. How about 0 to us and 5% on y'all? You know, make
That'll
it reasonable.
Never work. That'll
but
never
it
work.
should
Because we're
all
the
these
big bad
years-
U.S. That'll never work.
Well, you know, I know, but it should be that way.
It should just be
right?
0 to 0.
Well, you know, after World War II, we started all these tariffs with Europe to help rebuild Europe after all the bombings they suffered.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be temporary. This is all shit that I
Just
recently
like the
learned,
IRS
right?
is supposed to be temporary
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But I've never had this knowledge, right? But when these tariffs hit, it's like, what, you know, you start reading articles like, holy shit, we're the ones that started this for them, right? And they've just been taking advantage of
To
us
another
forever.
level, yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure, look, man, China needs us more than we need them. I truly feel that way. They have to sell these products. Their economy's already fucked right now. It's way worse off than ours. They've been in a slump for a long time. So they can't afford to just stop doing business with us. Who the fuck is going to buy all their products?
No one can afford to stop doing business with us, right?
Yeah, we buy the world's goods.
We buy everything.
Everything, dude. That's why we need a strong person at the head like Trump, man. I mean, it's love him or hate him as a person. He does good shit for the country, bro.
How are these people hating on him so bad? I mean, what are we seeing? How do we look at things so different?
I don't know. It's weird, man. It's because people are so easily brainwashed and manipulated. They believe all the media lies. They believe he has 34 felonies. Well, these felonies were completely made up. They were never charged as felonies before. Now you got people out there on social media calling him a felon. They don't even know what the hell the charges were about and trying to say, well, you know, how come my cousin Pookie can't get a job? He's a felon, but Trump's the president of the United States. It's not the same shit.
Right.
Trump didn't shoot somebody,
Right.
you know?
Right.
It's so crazy. But this was all manipulated, bro. This is what they wanted to happen. They just didn't think he was actually going to win. I think they're
Well,
like,
they tried to
"Oh,
kill him,
shit."
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
This is why right
And
here,
we had so many fucking poll watchers watching what they were doing this time. They couldn't cheat.
Yeah.
They couldn't cheat. They were fucked. And we have to do that every time. Whether you were a Republican or a Democrat, you have to feel that way. You have to be like, we need to make sure these are fair elections.
Yeah.
And if we lost fair and square, well, then great. But the way we lost against Biden was such a sham, you know? And then you get in trouble for saying it or you know.
All those votes that mysteriously were there just for that election and that have gone since.
Dude. Yeah, you literally, I know. That's what's crazy. But even on the charts where, you know, Trump was going up, Biden's kind of leveling off, Trump's going up, and then all of a sudden at 2 a.m., you know, Biden got like 237,000 votes in this city and 300 at the exact same time all across the country. He just got enough to win, you know?
Yeah, just like the Democrats, didn't they just do that 1 a.m. electoral thing where they waited till everybody was asleep just recently to go pass a bill in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's like, are we in high school? What the fuck?
Well,
who does shit like that?
It's Adam Schiff just held some closed door fake mock trial against Trump that he's just all these Democrats are involved in trying to get him on insider trading, you know?
So I just did a ChatGPT search on how many votes there were casted in 2020 versus 2024. It's pretty similar.
Democratic votes, 81. Yeah, but what's the year before that? What about the election before that? 2016.
Well, that wouldn't really matter, would it? Because
well,
you're trying to
2020 presidential election.
I'm trying to see if there was fake votes, right, from the 2020 versus 2024.
Well, look at they got 81.
There is a big difference, bro. I guess it's pretty similar.
No, well, in terms of how many votes in total, right? It's pretty the same.
There was a graph we saw where it was like
Way
like
different.
160,000
Well, that's the
votes
thing.
out
Is
of
that
nowhere.
you got to make sure you're looking at unbiased.
Well, ChatGPT, whatever.
GPT?
Yeah, it gets its information from.
Well, it's looking
From
right
where?
here.
From fake news.
Wikipedia.
137.
See?
I just know there was a certain amount of more votes in that election than there was out of any other elections. Like it was a standard amount before it went up, and then this last election it went right back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's obvious they cheated, giving all these people numbers and social security numbers.
The water main break in Georgia, supposedly, and as soon as they got everybody out, the women or the people that were counting the votes grabbed a bunch of ballots from underneath the table and just kept counting them after they told everybody we're shutting the polls down because of a water main break.
Didn't Giuliani get caught up in that too when he started calling out that mom and daughter duo that supposedly he ended up getting sued and having to give up all his money, right?
Really?
I think so. It was Rudy Giuliani. Yeah, he got caught up in saying that defamatory stuff about them cheating votes, and then they end up suing him and won, and he had to turn in all his freaking money.
Damn. Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while. Remember, bro? He was the mayor of America during 9/11, bro. Everybody loved him.
It's crazy how you can just be on top and then all of a sudden you're down at the bottom.
Yeah. That's
but back to China, man. Hopefully we work the shit out and just get
Well,
back
yeah,
to
because
business,
look,
it's
man,
going to affect everybody, I think.
Bro, imagine all the shit that I sell from China.
Us too. I mean, we get stuff from China too.
Well, I mean, even American producing companies buy a lot of raw goods from China because they're cheaper.
For sure.
Like that radio, that the Lynxwell, the very expensive radio, it's built here, but shit, it all comes from China.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna increase. Even like Suntech as a corporation, they probably get an ingredient in their fucking glue from there or some shit.
It's probably processed over there.
Yeah.
The thing too is whenever you start playing with the markets like that, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the long run.
Yeah.
They could be trying to force us into something we don't need to be into.
I got another subject I wanted to get y'all's opinion on. It's about geo weather modifications in Florida. Ron DeSantis is pushing for a ban on it. It's apparently a pretty big deal. So.
Yeah, dude.
Garcia has legislation in the Florida Senate to ban geoengineering and weather modification in the state of Florida. I support the legislation. However, the Florida House of Representatives has gutted Senator Garcia's legislation, and they would actually codify the practice of geoengineering and weather modification.
Paid by
We've got a lot of
somebody,
kooky ideas that they can get in and put things in the atmosphere to block the sun
And we
save
breathe
us from
it, and we
climate
eat
change.
it, and we
We're
drink
not playing that game in Florida.
Why would you want to block
I support
the
what
sun,
Senator
though?
Garcia is doing, and
We
I
need
hope
the sun.
that
It's
people
vitamin
will
D.
tell the
Everybody
House of
needs some
Representatives
vitamin
in
D.
Florida do not gut this bill.
Oh, they're going to.
God. Remember during COVID, one of the like preventative measures was vitamin D.
IRS
People were
e-file
buying
is now
vitamin D.
open.
Yeah.
But we could have just walked outside in the fucking sun, but they were like, they were trying to keep us all in the fucking house, it seemed like. You know what I mean? So people were having vitamin D deficiencies because they were just staying in their house all day long.
Dude, certain deficiencies of vitamins in your body can affect your mental capability.
That's probably why they were doing it. They knew, hey, let's keep these fuckers inside. It'll throw them off their game. We'll create a bunch of fucking wackos.
They end up on SSRIs.
Yeah,
They end up on mood enhancers. And that's
Pfizer.
people don't realize that that's what they do. Exactly that. They know exactly what they're doing. How can we make billions of dollars?
They're programming us with the programming we're stuck in the house watching, bro.
They will make us sick so they can make money.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Yeah, dude. If you're healthy, man, doctors don't get hardly any money from me, bro. I can't tell you the last time I went to the doctor.
I don't take any pills either.
Yeah. The moment you go, they'll get you on something, though.
You're in their hooks.
Yeah.
You're in the circle.
Yeah.
You have to just stay out of that. And, like the statin medications, when we were kids, you always hear about all the parents taking statins for their high blood pressure. Dude, that shit kills more people than anything.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Just like cortisone shots, how you were talking about your back. They just recently discovered that if you get cortisone shots like in your knee, if you're an athlete, and they keep pumping you with those shots over and over and over again, it literally degenerates your bones, your ligaments, and everything. It just dissolves it.
Well, yeah. I only got one round of them.
And they work great. But
you
only need to use it like that. You can't just keep, pressuring that same spot with it because it's literally like just dissolves your bones.
Well, the heat, where mine was, I don't know if it was the medicine itself. I think as he was going into my spine, he hit a few spots. From that point on, ever since I had it, my little toe on my right foot is numb sometimes. And it literally happened that day. I remember coming home from the doctor like, what the fuck's wrong? I can't hardly feel my toe.
Yeah.
It just seems like it was connected. I'm sure it was, he just hit a wrong wire.
Shot off my pinky toe.
Yeah.
A wrong wire.
Yeah, he shorted something out.
As long as he didn't hit the main wire, we're good.
Right? The main vein. All right, man.
Another one in the books.
Like and subscribe.
Somebody, please. We need some subscribers. What the fuck? Give us somebody. Come on, people.
Yep.
Comment on us. Say something. Talk about our jeans. Show them your jeans.
My jeans?
Yeah. Show them what you got on. Nothing. Shorts.
Short jeans.
Got on short pants today. Well, we appreciate y'all.
Man.
Thank you, Matthew, for finally showing up. It was a good time.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.